welcome. I'm Dr. Jackie, board certified pediatrician, mother of 3, founder of Dove Pediatrics, and your prayerful pediatrician. And today I want to talk about a topic very important for your children's health, but oh so hard to get under control, and that is sleep. Oh my goodness, let's just start off with, can you put in the comments sleep, a great big all caps sleep, if you have ever struggled or are struggling to get your children to get a good rest, whether that be at nap time or bedtime, or if you are struggling to get some rest because you have children. Type in sleep in the comments. Let me know that you are out there and you are looking forward to hearing this and you need it. After you've put that in there, let's just jump right in. First of all, let's set the foundation. Have you ever thought about the fact that God has not only created our bodies to require sleep and require rest, but that He actually commands it? Yes, when God gave the Israelites their 10 commandments, there was a command to remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Why? So that they would rest. What did God do after He created the world in 6 days? He rested. So He has created us from the very beginning to need rest and to model that example that He gave by resting after He had done the work that He needed to do. Now, obviously, I know that the Bible doesn't command sleep. Thou shalt sleep every night. But we know that our bodies do need rest. We need to sleep. That's when our immune system regenerates to keep us healthy. That's when children actually grow. They have bone growth at nighttime. That's why you see growing pains show up many times at night. And it's overall important to bring our stress level down, all of our hormones to be regulated. Sleep is so important. And obviously there are different phases of sleep. That deep sleep is needed. Uninterrupted deep sleep is needed to regenerate and to be able to thrive. A lot of us think that it's a great recommendation, but it's not a suggestion. It's not a recommendation. It is actually a command. And we are also instructed to train up our children in the way they should go. And so why would that training not include training them to sleep well? Now, before you jump up and down and wave your arms in the air over sleep training, I want to propose a new way of thinking about it, okay? Everyone equates sleep training with letting your children scream it out. Let's get rid of that notion. Let's stop calling cry it out sleep training. There are many different methods that are out there to train your children to sleep well. So that's one of the phrases that I cringe when I have to talk about it in our well checks, because I know that saying the words sleep training is going to make parents like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. But it's not cry it out, okay? I'm gonna give you some foundational steps, no matter what age your child is, that they need in order to help train them to sleep well so that they can learn how to rest and keep that pattern even into adulthood and be good, healthy sleepers all throughout childhood so that they can grow, they can develop on track, and take those habits even into adulthood. Now, I also want to redirect you that sleep is not a far off, someday I'll get it when I need it, someday we'll all go to sleep and we'll sleep better goal that's in some distant time in the future. It is important even now. It's important even in the earliest stages for both you and your child. And it seems that one of the hardest things for parents who are having trouble getting their child sleep trained is because they have that attachment to them. They don't want to let their child be alone or cry. And trust me, I know, I've been in the living room crying, waiting for my child to try to learn to just give me 2 minutes before I go back in and redirect them. So I understand. I know you are attached to your child and you love them dearly and you don't want to see any harm come to them. That is normal. But also, your child does need that training to be able to sleep on their own so that they can grow and develop. Because you love your child, you should be starting to put these foundational pieces in place to give them the healthy start to learning how to sleep on their own that you can. You are equipping them with the ability to sleep healthily and restfully, which is going to affect every single domain of their development. So let's jump into those foundational steps. To start off, I want to be clear, babies under 6 months old have not developed the ability to self-soothe yet. It starts as early as 4 months, but really it's not mature until about 6 months. So any sleep training methods that are out there, I really don't want you to go for fully until at least 6 months old. So if you have a newborn baby and every time you put them down, they start to cry, that's normal. Think about it. For 9 months, they were surrounded on all sides, squished in this little womb where they heard every sound, your heartbeat, everything whooshing, and to lay them down into a bassinet where they're not squished like that feels probably like a free fall. So if you're struggling with a newborn to about 2 months, that is normal. You do want to practice that, but you can do things like swaddle them to make sure that they actually feel secure, just like they did in the womb. Now, from 2 months to about 4 months, they might fall into a good pattern that's when they're sleeping like a baby. They can sleep through anything. And then 4 months, there is a sleep regression. They have a social developmental leap where they love you, they are laughing, they are smiling, they want to be with you. So they will push the boundaries and try to stay awake even when they're tired. And that's where you can start to put these foundational pieces into place to give them practice for when they are able to start soothing themselves. Okay, so here are your goals, and I want you to think of them as goals. Some days you will hit the goal and it will feel like you have won the lottery. And other days you might not hit that goal, you might not hit that target, but that's okay. It doesn't mean abandon ship. It doesn't mean just give up and don't do anything, okay? You're still trying to hit that goal each night in the attempt of giving your child practice to learn these techniques or to learn this ability to put themselves to sleep, okay? Number one, prioritize sleep when you see them tired. Now, tired doesn't mean they're already at the point where they're rubbing their eyes or they're crying or they're yawning. The very first signs that they might be getting tired is when you see them go from being super active to just a little bit more calm and quiet. And this usually relates to bedtime. So when you see that lull in activity in the evening, that's your cue that, okay, bedtime should follow within the next 30 minutes. Your goal is to get them in bed within about 30 minutes of that usual lull. So sometimes it takes about a week or so where I tell parents, just monitor your child every day and mark down to yourself, take note of what time they are seeming to get that lull in activity, and that becomes your bedtime. Within 30 minutes of that lull, okay, that's the time that I want to be transferring them into their bed when they're drowsy and they're tired, but they're not overtired and they're not still wide awake. They're just drowsy and they have the most likelihood of being like, okay, I'm in my room or I'm in my crib in mom and dad's room, but I'm too tired to fight it, so I'll just go to sleep, okay? That is your goal. Find that lull in activity. That's your first sign of tiredness. Because I'll tell you what, if you pass that, then you're getting into overtired. Then you have an overstimulated child that it seems like, okay, instead of going to bed at 8 o'clock, they're staying up until 10 or 11 p.m. So my number two is don't be surprised and don't be afraid if you need to shift the bedtime earlier. So if you're trying to put a 4 or 6 month old to bed at around 9 o'clock because that's when they have been falling asleep from the 2 to 4 month range, that's when they finally calm down for the evening and go to sleep for a chunk of time. Now that they're learning and they're moving and they're active all day, they are more tired earlier. So don't be afraid to shift that bedtime. If 9 o'clock now seems like if we get to 9 o'clock and they're wide awake, they're not going to sleep until midnight, shift it to 8, shift it to 7:30. You'd be surprised. With babies that are learning and growing all day long, a normal bedtime range can range from 6:30 till 8. I've even had sometimes where my kids have gone to bed at 5:30 or 6 and they sleep through the entire night. So really using their tired window, and don't be afraid to shift it. More often than not, the child that is overstimulated and not falling asleep until late at night needs an earlier bedtime than what it seems. Number three, once you hit that window, your goal is to try to lay them down. So you may have a whole bedtime routine. Okay, I noticed that the lull in activity starts at 6:30 every night. Okay, then I'm gonna start bedtime routine at 6. We're gonna do a calm bath. We're gonna do maybe a massage with lotion as we're putting pajamas on. We're gonna read 1 or 2 books. If it's still a nursing infant, we might nurse or get a bottle. And then the goal would be to be transferring that child as they're starting to drift off to sleep, as their eyelids are getting heavy, after you've done the routine, transferring them to their safe sleep space to roll over, be too tired to fight, and just go to sleep. Now, I realize that there's a lot of times where they're going to immediately wake up and wonder, where are you going? Why are you laying me down? And that is your cue for number 4, which is to have some safe sleep phrases that you and your partner or grandma or whoever may be helping you at bedtime to use. So rolling them to their side or back onto their back. If they can roll onto their bellies on their own, yes, they are allowed to sleep on their bellies, but patting their back, rubbing their back, you are safe, mommy and daddy are here, it's time to go to sleep, it's bedtime. They roll over, they cry at you again, you reiterate, you are safe, we are here, it's time to go to bed. Okay, that is what takes time. This is not something that after 2 times they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm safe. You're here. I'll go to sleep. No, this is your practice zone. Okay. And any nighttime wake ups that happen after this, you're going to go in and you're going to do the same thing. Try to avoid picking them up because the minute you pick them up, game over. It starts over from square one. Pretend like it's the beginning of the bedtime routine because now they've gotten picked up. They're not going to want to be put back down. But if you can go in, if you can gently roll them, pat their back, you are safe, mommy and daddy are here, it's time to go to sleep. Maybe repeat the song. If you have sung songs during the bedtime routine, you could repeat 1 song and then slowly see your way out. But you are setting the stage that you're safe. I have not abandoned you. We love you, but this is important. You need to be able to go back to sleep. Everybody needs to sleep. Lastly, number 5, when they are old enough. This is usually over 1 year old. I do not recommend anything extra being in the bed under 1 year old, but once they are over 1 year and they are starting to form an attachment, or maybe they're not yet, but you could go with them to pick one of these things out. But once they're starting to form attachments to items, you can pick something that is a safe item. For example, a stuffy. Take them to the store. Let them go pick out something like what would you feel would keep you safe? Is it a big teddy bear because a bear is going to keep you safe or make you feel like you are safe? Is it a puppy because you have a dog and that puppy reminds you that you are safe? Something that is just a reminder, something they can hug, they can cuddle as a reminder, I am safe. You're right. Mommy and daddy are here. God is watching over me and I am okay to go to sleep. So many times when you are the safe person and they want you in that room, you can remind them, okay, this is not mommy or daddy, but here's a reminder that you are safe, that you are cared for, that we are here and God is watching over you at all times. And then lastly, this is my extra tip. This is my extra foundation is when they are old enough, usually about 3 or 4, and they're starting to want you in there. And this is the age where they usually start making up things like, I need to go potty, I need a water, I need a snack, because they just want to prolong and draw out and get as many minutes with you as possible. This is a time where you can also institute timers. So yes, I will stay in your room because I want you to fall asleep in a calm manner. We don't want children screaming until they just wear out and fall asleep. We prefer that they fall asleep calm because that's how they're going to stay asleep through all of those sleep cycles and get the restorative sleep that they need. So you can institute a timer to say, okay, mommy's gonna stay in the room for this timer. I like to use my Apple Watch because they can visually see it, they can feel the vibration, but if they have fallen asleep during that timer, it's not waking them up. So I like to set anywhere from a 1 to a 3 minute timer, and when the timer's up, gotta go. It's not emotionally attached to them. It's just plain that the timer said it's done and it's time for me to leave. And if my children are still awake, I'll even let them hit the X button. Like, see, the timer's up. It's time to go to bed. I love you. You are safe. I'll see you in the morning. So those are my foundational tips. There are so many other things that we can work through. Obviously, there are many different causes of why your child might not be sleeping well, but these are the foundational pieces that need to be in place before we troubleshoot anything else. So I pray that this has helped. Please stay tuned, and please give me in the comments if you need anything specific. If you are saying, my child is doing this, I need help with this, can you cover this topic? Please let me know. I would love to dig more in depth. In the meantime, like, share, subscribe, and continue to build the community of Kingdom parents on a mission to raise a faithful and healthy next generation. See you next time.